Hi, welcome back. You can see the checklist on screen, and this is exactly how you should be arranging your documents by keeping the checklist on top. To begin with, the first thing that goes is your application form, then number 2, your personal statement, all its pages, then your study plan, all its pages, and the research proposal is not required for masters, so I had removed this page while I submitted my sets. And then comes the letter of recommendation. Please make sure if your chosen university needs 1 or 2 letter of recommendation and include it likewise. And then there's the GKS applicant agreement, the personal medical assessment, and the consent form. Include these in exactly this order, like the letter of recommendation should come after the study plan, and then the GKS applicant agreement should come after the letter of recommendation. Then comes proof of citizenship. For yourself, you have to submit your birth certificate, and passport can act as a supportive document. And for your parents, voter ID card or passport, because in India, NIED does not accept Aadhaar card as a valid source anymore. Then comes your graduation certificate, and the date of your graduation should be mentioned on top, and your transcript. Here, if you are adding any supporting documents to explain your grade conversion or your grade conversion report, you have to place it below the main transcript. Similarly, with any language translation for your degree or birth certificate, first place the original certificate and then any additional or supportive documents you are providing for that particular document. For number 15 to 19, I had no correlation with it, so I did not submit anything for it. Then for number 20, the score report, I had attached my language certificate for English, which was TOEFL Essentials home-based exam. TOEFL Essential was actually the lesser expensive version of the main TOEFL exam, and I had submitted its report card. I then attached some of my certificates that had relation with my major, like my internship, workshop, and some online courses I did, and also some certificates that had no relation with my major, just to show an extracurricular side of me, like some other fun activities and some donation projects and plantation projects and some social service certificates. If you have a lot of certificates, you can actually collage 3 to 4 certificates per 1 A4 page to lessen the amount of papers in your application set, because you do not want to crowd the selection committee with too much when they have such less time to judge amongst so many applicants. I had made a collage of my school time certificates so that they can have a look at the overall achievements at one place, and then for my college certificates, it was 1 certificate per 1 page. In the end, I had also placed a copy of my passport. Fill all the forms in your laptop or computer except the signature part. After printing your documents, then sign it with pen. And about the documents required in the second round, it is already mentioned in the guidelines. You need to submit 4 sets in case you are applying through the embassy track, and these sets should include everything mentioned on the checklist as well as any extra document that your university might need. See this last point. If a university requires additional document, example portfolio, applicants must submit those materials directly to the university. Here, since we are embassy track applicants, we cannot really have direct contact with the university regarding our admission unless our application reaches them after round 2 is over. Round 2 is the NEED selection round. So that is why please include those additional documents while you submit your package to the embassy office. Last year, after round 2, I saw some students who received emails from certain universities that asked them for an extra letter of recommendation and even portfolio. So these students had to send these documents and do international post in the last minute. This is why carefully check the requirements on your university website and make sure if they need any extra document like letter of recommendation, portfolio, or any consent forms, etc. And include these in the sets that you are preparing to submit to the embassy office. One of my university choices, that is Hongik University, needed portfolio in a specific format from the university track students. So although it wasn't mandatory for embassy track students like me to send the portfolio, I had included it anyway because back then I believed it would make my application stronger. That university also had 2 extra consent forms to be signed. I downloaded these all and signed and included in my set of Hongik. For my portfolio, I saved everything in PDF format, then put it in 3 pen drives or USB sticks as they call it, then pasted it on 3 A4 sheet paper. The sheet also had scan QR code printed below. It was the link to my online portfolio in case the selection committee wanted to further explore my works beyond what was provided in the PDF. I used labeling stickers as shown on these left side images, then numbered all my pages along with its name. For example, suppose if any document has multiple pages, which is our personal statement, so it was labeled as number 2, personal statement page 1, then number 2, personal statement page 2, page 3, etc. And also we have multiple certificates, so for them you don't have to label all the pages of your certificate, just the front one is enough because that's what I did. It was labeled as number 21, awards and certificate. And then I pasted those stickers on the top right corner as mentioned in the guidelines. Also, sticker was something that I used. It's not mandatory, so you can label it however you wish. You can just even write it on top right corner without pasting any sticker. Remember, this has to be done in all the 4 sets, so yeah, get ready to number and label a lot of pages. This point about everything being A4 sized, well, the envelope of my letter of recommendation were not A4 sized, so I had to attach the envelopes to the A4 sheet using tape so that it stays in place, and then I label the top right corner of this sheet as number 5, letter of recommendation. And my transcript was A3 sized, so I had to fold it in half and placed it where it needs to be as per the checklist. Do not staple any document or pages, no stapling. Simply place it in the order of your checklist with correct numbering and labeling. I also had not used this type of clip, the black one, because it was making my set too big to properly fit the envelope. So instead, I used thin paper pins shown in the left side of the image, and only on my certificates to hold all of it in one place, since the certificates were one category of documents. Everything else in my application was placed just like that without anything to hold it. I had used these kind of transparent folders to separate my 4 sets. After placing those 4 sets in 4 different folders, I used a small tape at the open end so that the papers don't fall off. Then on top, I used my labeling sticker and wrote original for the original set, and for the other 3 I labeled them as set 1, set 2 and set 3. Only one of my set had a university named mentioned for it, that was Hongik University, because they had a specific portfolio format as well as some extra consent forms that I had included. In the end, I placed the original set on top, then set 1, set 2, set 3 below it, and put it all together inside a very big envelope, and I sent the envelope for postal.